Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're joining us, you are likely stepping into the world of clinical mental health counseling through a contemplative, Buddhist-informed lens. And today, we're doing something really exciting. We're bridging what might seem like this massive, impassable gap between mindful observation and the rigorous science of research. We're going to unpack Chapter 4 of Barrio, Minton, and Lenz's textbook on applied research, and we're going to ground these seemingly abstract concepts into the very real, deeply mindful work you'll be doing with clients every single day. Let's jump right in. So, did you know you actually already use the scientific method in literally every single client session? I want to start by completely shattering this common illusion that research only happens in, sterile labs by folks wearing white coats. The truth? You are gathering vital, real-time data every time you sit across from someone. When you listen deeply, when you conceptualize a client's stuck points, and then modify an intervention based on what you're seeing, you're testing hypotheses. You are already a scientist, just operating in the incredibly complex laboratory of human experience. To guide our journey today, we're looking at the core CACRIP standards that map directly to your future practice as a competent ethical counselor. As you'll see here, we're covering how to critique research, evaluate interventions, and absolutely make sure our strategies are both ethical and culturally relevant. These aren't just academic boxes to check. This is about doing the work the right way for the people we serve. Here is our quick roadmap for today. We'll cover science and everyday counseling, a tale of two sciences, the scientific method, applied research, and program evaluation.
Starting off with Section 1, Science in Everyday Counseling.
Think about your natural clinical process for a second. You conceptualize some core mechanism that's limiting a client, right? You develop an idea, you implement an intervention, and then you just observe the results. If it works, awesome, you repeat it. If it doesn't, you adapt. What you're doing right there, testing a technique and responding to the results, is empirical, systematic data gathering, happening right on the individual level. It's science in motion.
Moving right along to Section 2, A Tale of Two Sciences.
Now, stepping back from that individual micro level, we run into two main paradigms: research and program evaluation. While they are definitely distinct, they're both frameworks designed to systematically answer four golden questions. What works, for whom, how, and under what circumstances? Whether you're trying to contribute to profession-wide knowledge or you just need to check if your clinic's new mindfulness group is actually helping the local community, these four questions are going to be your true north.
Up next, Section 3, the scientific method.
Notice how the sequential process beautifully maps out fundamental research. Following Barrio, Minton, and Lenz's framework, we actually start right at the nexus of our real-world observations. From there, we ask a question, dive into the literature, develop a hypothesis, test it out, analyze the data, and finally communicate our results. It isn't just a rigid, straight line, it's a continuous, flowing cycle of knowledge generation.
I really want to focus on that first step for a second. The authors use this wonderful, incredibly relatable term, curiosity stuck points. As a contemplative counselor, you are specifically trained to be deeply present, and in that presence, you're naturally going to notice gaps in understanding. Maybe it's a recurring theme with clients, or a systemic barrier in your community that just leaves you perpetually interested in wondering, why is this happening? That mindful curiosity, that is the exact seed of all great research.
So, once you've found one of those stuck points, you don't just immediately jump into testing. Your reflexive questions need some time to evolve. You head to the literature to see what's already known, what's emerging, and what is still a total mystery about your topic. From there, you formulate a specific, educated guess about the phenomenon, and crucially, this guess needs to include operational terms so it can actually be tested in the real world.
Okay, don't let the statistical jargon intimidate you here. This is really just formalized skepticism. We always start with the null hypothesis, often called H0, which is basically the assumption that our intervention isn't effective. It assumes no relationship exists. Our goal, through rigorous testing, is to see if the data allows us to confidently reject that null hypothesis in favor of the alternative hypothesis. If we can do that, we've basically proven our intervention actually created meaningful change. The final steps, we analyze our project-level data for our specific local context. But, and this is absolutely crucial, we don't just file our findings away in some dusty drawer. We communicate. We share what we learned so others can build on it. That is how we relieve suffering and promote wellness on a much broader systemic scale. Which brings us to Section 4, Applied Research in Action.
Basic research might scratch the itch of curiosity, sure, but as mental health professionals, knowledge just for the sake of knowledge isn't really enough for us, is it? We need applied research. This is about investigating and generating practical solutions to everyday issues. It's specifically designed to address complex barriers across intersections of culture and diversity, right where you, your clients, and your community actually live and breathe.
And finally, Section 5, Program Evaluation for Quality. Think about this. What if you launch a massive community outreach program and you need to know, right now, if it's actually working? Traditional research isn't really meant for rapid, on-the-fly contextual shifts. That's where program evaluation steps in. It is a highly flexible strategy for continuous quality improvement. It responds to immediate needs, allowing you to estimate a program's worth, merit, and impact in real time so you can pivot if necessary. We've covered a lot of ground in this explainer today, traversing from micro-level hypotheses in your therapy sessions all the way up to macro-level program evaluations. So, I want to leave you with this. You are actively cultivating deep awareness in your training right now. How are you going to use your own curiosity stuck points to create evidence-based change? I challenge you to treat every single clinical observation as an opportunity to profoundly impact the world around you. So, what will you discover next? Keep questioning, keep observing, and keep evaluating.